I am going to be serious just for a little bit. This week we have seen journalists threatened, beaten up, jailed, and in at least one tragic instance, murdered. All because they have bravely gone into a people's revolution to tell the truth about a regime that has oppressed its citizens for 3 decades. The violence against reporters reminds us of what we too often forget, that our access to news fairly told, information and analysis are vital to freedom and democracy, and in danger of disappearing more easily than we realize, not only through repression, but also neglect, indifference, and a pursuit of profit that too often tramples facts and panders to bellicose ignorance. John Merriman, after whom the Merriman Award is named, was a great newsman and a president of this union. He rose through the ranks of CBS News to become an outstanding editor and producer, working with Edward R. Murrow, Walter Cronkite, and many others from that network's stellar roster of journalists. He also taught journalism at the American University in Washington, D.C. And so after his death, the annual Merriman Award was established to honor one of that school's outstanding broadcast journalism graduate students. We are pleased to present this year's Merriman Memorial Award to someone dedicating himself to the investigative journalism so vital to society. Already he's established himself as a first-class reporter in print and radio news. Since last fall, he's been working at the Center for Public Integrity in Washington, which, if you know, is one of the nonprofit organizations now engaged in the kind of in-depth reporting in politics and governance that should be the heartbeat of news. The Writers Guild Merriman Award goes to Jeremy Borden.
Well, that is a humbling prologue. Might have to scratch my initial joke, but I'm very appreciative that I can be here, and thank you for that really kind introduction. So first off, I do want to thank American University, and particularly our journalism program director, Jill Olmstead, who's with us today. And I'll just say a word quickly about John Merriman. So this award honors John Merriman, who was the editor of CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite, and that was back when people, so I've heard, actually revered journalists. And I'm just trying to stay one step ahead of the National Enquirer at this point. But in all seriousness, I also want to thank my girlfriend, Christina, who's here. Journalists are notoriously late and unreliable, and she has always been there for me, so I very much appreciate her. It's also really humbling to be in a room of writers like this one. News can sort of act as society's mirror, but you all often take a blank canvas and really are able to find a palette that often better reflects reality than we do, and I'm truly in awe of you. And then I also want to follow up with what Mr. Winship said and just say that you know, seeing the images in Egypt, it really does bring home what this profession is all about and what we can aspire to in terms of making sure that we understand the world in the way that we should. So thank you so much for this generous award, and I'm just very proud to be here tonight.